Hello everyone. Let us start today's session with the derivation which is related to EMF equation. So I'm going to have a discussion today with EMF equation. What is the induced voltage which is generated in a DC generator? So how do you represent it with the help of a mathematical equation? So that equation which represents the EMF equation of a DC generator. So I'm going to derive it in this video. You are going to see it as the EMF equation of a DC generator. So you might get a question where you will be deriving the EMF equation of a DC generator, EMF equation of a DC generator, EMF equation of a DC generator. Or so you might derive the equation related to the DC generator. So derive the equation related to DC generator with usual notations. With usual notations. With usual notations. All right. So that is where we are going to derive the EMF equation of a DC generator, starting from the fundamentals or usual notations that we are going to find out. So we are going to derive the EMF equation of a DC generator. So that is the equation related to a DC generator in general or a DC machine. Okay. So I have a DC machine which can be run as a DC generator. Okay, so which can be run as a DC generator. So in a DC generator, so if I write it like this, it's a DC generator. Okay, so the input and output. So what is the input, which is mechanical in nature, and the output is said to be electrical in nature. All right, so let us start from the fundamentals itself. So how do I generate this EMF, or what is the equation that is related to the EMF equation of a DC generator? Okay, so let us begin now. So let us start. As I told you, I wanted to start it from the fundamentals. So phi, what is phi? So it is the flux per pole in Webers. Flux per pole in Webers. Flux per pole in Webers. Okay. Now, what is Z? Z be the total number of conductors. Okay, total number of conductors. Okay, so when I talk about conductors, so it is nothing but total number of armature conductors. Total number of armature conductors. Total number of armature conductors. Now, in a machine, okay, if I take a machine like this, I'll be having the slots. So I'll just show you now. So if I have slots like this, so these are nothing but the slots which are equally placed with respect to each other. Okay, so these are nothing but the slots, and each slot will have a conductor, and each slot will have a conductor. So now the total number of armature conductors, how can we find out? It is number of slots. If I have 12 slots, okay, and the number of conductors in each slot is 16. Okay, so now it is the slots that I have. So this is the number of conductors which I have. The number of conductors which I have. So this is number of slots. Okay, number of slots in armature. Number of slots in armature. Okay, into. Okay, so number of slots in armature into what do you have here? So you will be having number of conductors in each slot. Number of conductors in each slot. Number of conductors in each slot. Okay, so now I have phi, which is flux per pole in Webers, and Z, as I told you, it is the total number of slots in the armature, okay, into number of conductors in each slot, which will give the number of armature conductors. All right, so what is P? P is the number of generator poles. P is the number of generator poles. P is the number of generator poles. Okay. Now I have the next notation what I wanted to write. So A be the number of parallel paths. Number of parallel paths. Number of parallel paths. All right. So A be the number of parallel paths in the armature. Number of parallel path in the armature. All right. So N, what is N? Rotational speed of the armature in revolutions per minute. N, rotational speed. Okay, at what speed the armature rotates? Rotational speed of the armature. Rotational speed of the armature. Okay, in revolutions per minute. Okay, in revolutions per minute. Revolutions per minute. Okay, next E is the EMF induced EMF induced in any parallel path in the armature. In any parallel path in the armature. Any parallel path in the armature. Any parallel path in the armature, or we can write it as EMF induced itself. So we can write it as EMF induced. Okay, it is there. Okay, now what you have is, so how we are going to start. So we are going to have this EMF which is generated. So I can call this EMF induced in any parallel path. Okay, so the generated EMF in the parallel paths had to be found out. Now what do I do to that? I have the average EMF generated per conductor. Average EMF generated for a single conductor. Average EMF generated per conductor. Average EMF generated per conductor. So it is d phi by dt. So it is average EMF generated per conductor. It is d phi by dt, which is in terms of volts. Okay. So now I have n equals 1. Okay. So I have d phi by dt, which is volts. All right. Now during one revolution, during one revolution, okay, of armature, during one revolution of armature in a p pole generator, in a p pole generator, each armature conductor cuts the magnetic flux p times. Cuts the magnetic flux p times. Okay, p is nothing but the number of poles here. So if I have a 2-pole generator, okay, so each armature conductor cuts the magnetic flux, that is 2 times. So this is a p times here. So if I have, okay, so this d phi, which is phi into p. Okay, so that's how I can write it. So for one conductor in one revolution. Okay, now I have flux cut by one conductor, flux cut by one conductor in one revolution, so which is given by 5 into p Webers. 5 into p Webers. Okay, so I have the flux cut by one of the conductor, so in one revolution, so that would be equal to 5 into p Webers. Now next I have flux cut by each conductor, flux cut by each conductor, flux cut by each conductor per second, that would be equal to flux cut by flux cut by the conductor conductor per revolution per revolution okay, per revolution into number of revolutions number of revolutions number of revolutions of armature number of revolutions of armature per second number of revolutions of armature per second. So I have the flux cut by each conductor per second, which is given as flux cut by the conductor per revolution into number of revolutions of armature per second. Okay, so that is what I have here. So if I want to find what is the average EMF generated, so flux cut by the conductor per revolution, so that is 5 into P. So this one is 5 into P. This one I have N divided by 60. Okay. So I have it as N divided by 60. So that would be the flux cut by each conductor per second. Okay. So that is the flux cut which is there. Okay. So per second. Okay. So number of revolutions of armature per second. So this is one thing which I need to write it. All right. Now, so as per the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, so EMF generated per conductor. So I want to find out the generated EMF generated per conductor, EMF generated per conductor, which is given by d phi by dt, d phi by dt. So how do I write it? So I'll be writing it as 5 into P into N divided by 60 volts. Okay, so that is how you can find out as per the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. So that is EMF generated per conductor. So that is given by d phi by dt, that is 5 into P into N divided by 60 volts. Okay, so now next, if I have the number of conductors which are connected in series between the positive brush and negative brush, positive and negative brush. So if I have this one, okay, as a positive and the negative brush, so overall conductors, whatever that is connected over this from the positive to the negative ends of the brushes, so that is equal to the total number of conductors divided by its, okay, so total number of conductors divided by the parallel path which is there, okay, divided by the number of parallel paths. So now I have number of armature conductors, number of armature conductors, number of armature conductors per parallel path, per parallel path, that is given by Z divided by A. So that is number of armature conductors per parallel path is given by Z divided by A. Okay. Now the generated EMF, the generated EMF, the generated EMF, e.g. between the terminals, between the terminals, between the terminals. So that is EMF generated per conductor, EMF generated per conductor, EMF generated per conductor, okay, into number of conductors, number of conductors in each parallel path, in each parallel path, number of conductors in each parallel path. Okay, so that is given by EG, which is the generated EMF. So I'll be calling it as 5 PN divided by 60, and the multiplication with respect to number of conductors in each parallel path. Okay, so now if I have EG which is there. So that is 5Pn divided by 60 into Z by A. Okay, so that is what I have it for the generated EMF equation. Generated EMF equation. Generated EMF equation. Okay, so now I have the number of armature conductors per parallel path. So that is Z by A. So I have the generated EMF between the terminals. So this is the EMF which is being generated between the terminals. So I have this as the EMF generated per conductor. Okay, I have per conductor. Now if I multiply it by the number of conductors, divide by the parallel path, each parallel path which is there. So I'll be finding the generated EMF which is 5Pn divided by 60, okay, into Z by A volts. Z by A volts. All right. Now, if I got the wave, okay, so wave wound. So I have two types of, okay, so two types of windings are there. So first one which is the wave wound, second one which is the lap wound. Wave wound, okay, wave wound. I have the number of parallel paths to be 2, okay, so which is wave wound. Next, for a number of parallel path which is there for the lap wound, that is A equals P. A equals P. So wave wound A equals 2, lap wound A equals P. Okay, so that's what you are going to get it for wave wound and also the lap wound. So A equals 2 and A equals P. So that's how you are going to find out which one is lap wound and which one is wave wound. So you have number of parallel paths equal to number of generator poles, and number of parallel paths will be equal to 2 there. Now, so how do I get it? So EG would be 5Pn divided by 60 into Z by 2. That is 5Pn into Z divided by 120. Okay. Now this one EG would be, okay, EG would be, so 5Pn. Okay. Next you have Z. Okay. So Z and like, yeah, A and P would get cancelled. Sorry. 1 minute. Yeah, so 5nz divided by 60. Okay, so p by a, and like it would get cancelled. So this is for a lap wound and this would be for wave wound there. Okay, so you should be in a position to understand which type of winding is used for high voltage, okay, or generally a higher value of voltage, and which one will be used for lower value of the voltage. So you should be in a position to identify, so which type of winding, okay, so which type of a DC windings, okay, DC machine. So we'll be having a DC windings, okay, generally they are having lap wound and also the wave wound which is there. All right, so in a lap wound machine I'll be having number of parallel paths that would be equal to P, okay, that is the number of generator poles, and the number of wave wound, okay, so that would be A equals 2. Okay, so this is what we are going to finish it once you talk about the generated EMF. Okay, so this is the EMF equation of a generator. Okay, so starting from the fundamentals, we had like got to a conclusion. Okay, so where the induced EMF or the generated EMF, that would be 5Pn divided by 60 into Z by A. Okay, so there are different ways in which you can also represent it. So you can represent EG as 5Zn divided by 60 into P by A. So just to ensure that you get P and A get cancelled in case of lap wound. Okay, so see to it that you have to have many such approaches. You can write in different forms also, and you can represent it. Okay, so see to it that you are going to practice this derivation more and more. Okay, so more so that you could understand it better. Okay, so we'll stop right now, and in the next video let me have a discussion with respect to the torque equation of a DC motor. So this was the DC generator what we discussed, and the next one will be the torque equation of a DC motor derivation. Okay, thank you everyone.